This is Benjamin Price reporting for Kids First, and today I'm here with Derek Koheler, Senior
Hi,
Manager at
everyone.
Adam Tickets. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, how about yourself?
Doing pretty well. How did you become involved with Adam?
So I've been with Adam for a little over 2 years, and at the time I was working with BuzzFeed, working on their Tasty division, so doing all the cooking videos that you might have seen online. A friend of mine who had been at Adam reached out with a great opportunity. He said, like, I know you love movies. We're looking for a new social media manager, someone to really boost our social media presence. So it was just a great fit. I chatted with the team and fell in love with them. I'm still in love with them. So I've been enjoying my time ever since.
Speaking of BuzzFeed, how has your prior work at Google, CBS, and BuzzFeed not only prepared you but informed your role at Adam?
Yeah. So I got my start at Google, and I was doing social media at Google, doing a lot of analytics. So digging in of the content we've already posted, what has performed the best, and trying to figure out why it performed the best. At my role at CBS, I was working in their video games division, GameSpot, and I was publishing a high volume of content, publishing 50 posts to Twitter a day, 40 posts to Facebook. So I got great experience in crafting headlines, crafting images, and seeing what resonates with our audience and why. What's the best platform for what type of content? And then at BuzzFeed, I learned so much from my peers. You know, BuzzFeed, they have hundreds of millions of followers on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So I was surrounded by great talent, and I was learning a lot from them about best practices and how to further optimize your content for each platform. So I feel like I got a really great all-in-one experience of learning social media through those three jobs. And then going to Adam, I was tasked with build our social media. Like, we want a big presence. You can do it in your own image. Like, there are no direct guidelines. We just want to get fans really excited about movies. So that's what I brought, and then that's what I'm here to do.
You mentioned an interest in movies is kind of what drew you to Adam, so this will probably be a difficult question. What's your
Yeah.
fondest memory from time spent at a movie theater?
Oh gosh, that is a difficult question there. I gotta say, it happened just this past December with Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker coming out. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was in diapers. I love Star Wars, and to see the conclusion of the Skywalker saga, the culmination of 9 films, and to be in the theater, opening show, opening night, wearing my Star Wars shirt, being surrounded by an audience of people who are cheering for the Jedi and laughing at the jokes and crying. It's just that community experience that I think is so beautiful about going to the movies. And like, luckily at Adam, being in social media, there's some great opportunities for me to be out in the field interviewing the cast and kind of seeing the behind the scenes. So for Star Wars in particular, I had the opportunity to interview the cast at the red carpet premiere, as well as go to a big Star Wars fan convention in Chicago where they debuted the first trailer. So it was such a special experience being such a fan, and then also getting to do it for work. It's got to be Star Wars.
I'm curious, where are you on Babu Freak?
Love
You a
them.
fan?
Hey, hey.
Ah,
Love Babu Freak. Yeah.
and so you entered Adam through as social media manager. In what ways that you can attest to, has social media changed the way movies are marketed and advertised?
Boy, that is a great question. And I think it's changing every single day. Because when I was your age, I typically discovered movies in the theaters. You know, I wouldn't know what's coming out, and then a trailer would be playing. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, they're making a Ninja Turtles 2? No way. And it's coming out next week. When I think social media has really democratized our discoverability of movies. So there will be social media posts from your favorite, from Disney, saying, we're going to make Mulan live action. And that's a year or two before it even comes out. So I'm attached to Mulan coming out. Social media informs who's being cast in real time, when the first poster comes out, when the first trailer comes out. Um, and then up until the movie comes out, I feel like I've been a part of this journey of the production of the film, the discoverability of the film, I've shared the trailer to all my favorite social media platforms. I've tagged my friends. We've made plans on social media. And then we watch it. And the first thing I do when I watch a film is I hop back on social media to tweet out or use Letterbox to say, here's my review. I loved it and here's why. So it makes me feel like I'm a player in part of the movie going experience. And the discoverability is a lot easier now and more accessible than when it was just 15 years ago.
Big fan of Letterboxd.
Oh, you
Uh,
are you? I'll have
yeah,
to follow
yeah.
you.
There's also you mentioned posters and trailers. Now we're at a point where even sort of mid-budget, but especially big budget movies are like set photos and
Yeah,
there could be an article in the magazine and some images come out and people just dig and dig. And you're in that way it's really changed too. So
absolutely.
you host a podcast called Everyday Sensei where you discuss kind of tips and tricks to better one's life and state of mind with friends and colleagues. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned, um, just sort of talking with someone else or thinking about those topics through the podcast?
I
Or
love that you've done your homework, Benjamin. That is great. I do host a podcast called Everyday Sensei. The premise behind it was to sit down with family, friends, and strangers, friends of friends. I think everyone has such rich life experience, and everyone has learned life lessons. And I'd love to just sit down with them and pick their brain about what little tricks have you found in life, like what mistakes have you made, what have you learned from them, and what can you share. And I think some commonality behind all of those is um, the ability to be a beginner. And so, if you want to get in shape, if you want to learn karate, if you want to start your career in entertainment, you have to be okay to be a beginner, to be a white belt, to make mistakes. You have to forgive yourself for making mistakes. And it's all about the consistency. So, I think that if you want to learn karate, you may make mistakes, but if you go to class day after day after day, you'll get better and better and better. And then year after year, you earn that black belt. And I think the same principle can be applied for learning languages, learning in school, getting um, really good at bicycling or skateboarding or in your career as well. Just accepting and forgiving yourself to, I'm going to be a beginner, I'm going to make some mistakes. That's okay. It's part of the process, but I'm going to show up day after day. So that's something that's really opened my eyes to just try new things, I think.
when you were talking about Rise of Skywalker, you mentioned just sort of the thrill of the communal experience. So I'm curious, what aspects of the movie theater experience are you most excited to return to when the time comes?
Of the movie theater experience, yeah. Boy, this is a great question because I think there are so many things that are uniquely captured in the theatrical experience that you can't really get at home or watching on your laptop. One of the things that I love is a good opening night audience. So I watched Avengers Endgame, the first showing at 6 p.m., and I saw your review on YouTube. I was huge a fan. 6 p.m. showing, the opening night, and everyone there was such a big fan of Avengers. They oohed and awed and cheered and cried. And there's something about that bonding experience, about feeling like you're part of something and cheering when Captain America lifts, spoilers, hammer. And I love the community experience. And then additionally, I love the sound system of movie theaters. I love having the walls kind of shake and rock during an action scene. It'd be really loud, and it just like it makes me feel more immersed than in my living room. And then lastly, I like when else can you eat movie theater nachos for 2 hours and no one judges you? So I love my movie theater concessions as well. But I just can't wait to get back to that social movie going experience.
Yeah, what speaking of Endgame, like I made it a goal of mine. I was like, I'm gonna see this movie as many times as I can, and every time I was shocked by how
So
electric
good.
it was to be in that audience. Yeah, it was incredible.
Who is your favorite
So,
character from it?
oh, I'm a big fan of Groot and Rocket. You know,
Groot and
there's,
Rocket.
yeah. Which of the recently delayed movies are you most excited to see?
This is like choosing one of my children. I'm so excited for all these movies, and like I mentioned earlier, uh, we've been kind of attached to some of these movies, marketing some of these movies from when they were announced. So years ago, we knew that Mulan was getting a live action remake. We were there supporting the first trailer on Atom Tickets. I remember waking up early and sharing the new trailer to Atom Tickets social pages the second they went live. So I do feel really attached to all these movies coming out. But if I had to choose just one, it would be Wonder Woman 1984, and followed closely behind Black Widow. I just think there's like a lot of badass girl power hitting the big screen this year, and I just am so excited to see it. I was a huge fan of the first Wonder Woman, and I have no idea what's coming. You know, other than the trailers, I've been hearing quotes from the director and the cast saying it doesn't feel like a sequel. It's something really fresh. You haven't seen something like this. So I'm like, I'm ready. I'll be there opening day. Let's see it. So Wonder Woman. What about
I
yourself? What are you most excited to see?
Oh, Wonder Woman is up there for me. I have a personal connection because number one, it's set in DC, which is not too far out from where I am. But
Yeah.
there's a mall that closed that they shot at, and I remember being just so excited to hear that. Like, oh man, I'm just getting to see that on the big screen. It's going to be really exciting. So,
Oh, that's great.
all right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time your day to talk with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Benjamin. I'm a big fan of your work. You're doing great
Thank you.
things.
This is Benjamin Price reporting for Kids First, signing off. See you next time. Bye.